I know we had a weak sound system last time, so we went all out for this one, which I would love to thank our sound guys, Atomic Audio, for generously supporting March for Australia. Can everyone hear me all right? At the back, are we good? Welcome to Hyde Park, which has been occupied every Sunday for the last 2 years by foreign protesters. It feels good to return this historically rich and beautiful park to the patriotic people of this nation. I'm going to give my speech and then we'll go straight to our great list of speakers that we have organised for today, so I'll try and get through mine as quick as possible. Australia was and still could be the greatest country in the world. The way the traitors in our government and the elites have sold our people out and flooded us with an infinite, unrelenting flow of immigration for the purpose of their financial and economic gain is a betrayal of our people, the likes of which we have never seen before in our history. Politicians keep talking about social cohesion. Yet true social cohesion comes naturally when there is a common heritage and a clear established national identity. Yes. You can't cram suburbs full of enclaves of hostile foreigners with ideologies and religions that are fundamentally against the founding culture of this nation and expect social cohesion. It doesn't work that way. What makes a nation great is the people in it. Australia has always been globally known and renowned for its people and our culture. Culture flows downstream from race and heritage. When you add countless hordes of ethnic foreigners, it completely strips that nation of its culture, heritage and identity. It has never been more important than it is right now to reclaim and fight for Australia's identity. Anglo-European ancestors settled this nation, built this nation, and passed this great nation on to us, their descendants. They did it for us, so we could live in the greatest country on earth. They didn't do it so that we could be disenfranchised in our own suburbs and pushed out of electorates with hordes of imported voter blocks. They didn't do it so we could be minorities in our school classrooms or have to compete in the workforce and housing market against infinity immigrants. They didn't do it so our shopping centres would be filled with foreign machete gangs. And they didn't do it so our neighbourhoods could be terrorised by violent foreign thugs committing carjackings, breaking and enterings, and far worse than that. When you import the third world, you become the third world. They try to tell us that diversity is our strength, but we have only seen all the problems that come with mass immigration. We have seen a housing crisis, mass homelessness, increased violent crime, economic stress for Australians, foreign unrest in the streets, religious enclaves destroying the aesthetics of our suburbs. We have completely unrecognisable streets. The government's response to this seems to be increased censorship and hate speech laws for anyone who dares to speak out against it. It begs the question, what exactly are the benefits of diversity?
Nothing!
Is it worth it to completely change the fabric of this entire nation permanently just for some exotic foreign food? Is it worth it just for an artificial boost in GDP numbers?
No!
It is proven now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, this experiment has run its course and the results are in. Mass immigration has failed. We are bringing in hundreds of thousands of unvetted, often hostile and unwilling to participate in traditional Australian society per year with no end in sight. We are seeing our culture eroded and we are seeing crime rates rise at levels we have never seen before. Mass immigration has failed and we need to have a serious conversation about deportation of criminal immigrants and remigration of hostile, un-Australian, or foreign subversive immigrants. send them back and shut the gate. It's time to protect our own. It's time to make our streets safe, and it's time to protect our women and children. Make no mistake, this is part of a larger agenda to completely destroy our people and our homelands. It is happening in every white nation. When you look at the statistics of birth rates, the global percentages of population of white people, the United Nations Replacement Migration Report, and the constant anti-white rhetoric we see from mainstream society and mainstream media, it is clear that we are under attack as a people, and it's time to start being proud of who we are and standing up against this heinous agenda and the betrayal of our people before it's too late. It is time to fight back.
It's communism!
Many other nations and cultures around the world take pride in their heritage, and that's not seen as taboo in any way. But for some reason, being proud of white European Australian heritage is not allowed. Well, they say there is no such thing as white heritage. Yes, people have been saying that. Many Australians have been completely brainwashed by this hateful and self-deprecating ideology, and we need to overcome this by overpowering these weak traitors with our powerful displays of Aussie pride. We must be proud of who we are as Australians and be proud of what our ancestors built. We must tell this traitorous government that Australians have had enough of being treated like second-class citizens. This is our country. We must fight this noble cause. It is our duty as a people to stand up and fight for this great nation and return it to its former glory. The purpose of March for Australia is not only to normalise the conversation about mass immigration, but also to normalise being proud of our Australian heritage once again. It's about flying our flags and advocating for our people again. For too long we have been browbeaten, labelled toxic racists. From a young age, we are brainwashed into thinking our history is evil, and it's time we put this agenda to an end once and for all. We owe it to our children, our grandchildren, and all the future generations of this country, so we can give them what our ancestors gave to us, the greatest country in the world. Thank you again for everyone involved in the March for Australia organisation team, and thank you everyone for coming. I know this whole movement has been shrouded in controversy, and the mainstream media has been unrelentingly attacking us and hitting us with their ridiculous narratives. We have tried to keep it real, remain unapologetic, and stand strong against these bastards. It is an absolute credit to everyone here for turning up to March for Australia. Thank you everyone so much. Very good. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! All right, let's go to our speakers.
You're fucking legend, Jesse!
Thanks, mate.
Hey, Elmo!
First speaker we have is Miss Beck Freedom, National Organiser and Sydney Co-Organiser for March for Australia.
Go get him, darling.
Hey guys, I do have a speech this time. Last time I didn't, but this time I do. But before I start that speech, I want to give a special thank you to the awesome Australian kids that marched proudly holding our banner today. You guys are our future, and we are doing this for you. I want to thank everyone for showing up today. I also want to thank all my amazing organisers, team members and promoters right across Australia. You've all worked your little butts off and you're all amazing. Obviously the smear of fear campaigns didn't stop or scare you guys away. How very patriotic of you! Yeah! After August 31st, a lot of people walked away feeling like the day was amazing. They were full of adrenaline, full of pride, and couldn't wait to go again. The media knew this though. The government knew this, so they had to try and diminish those feelings and squash that pride.
Fuck the media!
They only showed violence in the news, called all the males toxic. They focused purely on the NSN, called us all racist, and minimised the numbers that showed up. They ignored the thousands of flags being flown proudly, or the unity of us all coming together. They didn't show us all singing the national anthem, or the proud little Aussie kids waving their flags. I think this was a bit of a wake-up call for some of you first-timers that attended. You realised the media lies. They twist and they manipulate it into a narrative that suits their agenda. To those of you that went to the first and came here again today despite the media campaigns, you're all patriotic legends. Congratulations! But remember this, we do not hate the media enough.
Fuck the media! Fuck the media! Fuck the ABC!
However, what I will say is there are a few good ones here today, and to those ones we do appreciate you. We're not going to shitbag you all. Some of you are good, and those ones we appreciate. So keep it honest, guys.
Fuck some of the media! Fuck the media!
The left asks, what did you even achieve? As much as I'd love for our marches to end mass immigration, realistically it will not happen unless we see millions on the streets. My main goal with March for Australia was to reignite that good old Australian pride that we've been shamed out of feeling these past few decades. My goal was to get people speaking about the problems we are seeing in Australia in terms of mass immigration, the negative side effects and the impacts on Australians. I wanted to hear people discussing how important it is for us to fight to keep our national identity, to protect our way of life and to be proud of our Anglo-Saxon and European heritage and culture. I wanted these discussions to become normal and socially acceptable because for so long we've been told it's racist to speak on any of this. Far out, I got called racist because I used the word white to explain what Australian heritage is. People seem to forget that the first settlers were white. Captain Cook and Sir Joseph Banks were both white. Therefore, our Australian heritage could be referred to as white without being shamed for using the correct description of the colour of their skin. We should not be ashamed of our Australian history. Our marches have made these topics more common. Damn straight! I wanted the government to hear our concerns, and they did. Parliament and politicians have been buzzing with discussions about mass immigration, immigration in general, and even remigration.
Yes!
It hasn't all been positive though. Just this past week, a motion was moved in New South Wales Parliament to condemn myself and March for Australia. Which John Ruddick spoke on in defence of both me, our organisers and all of you who marched on August 31st. So thank you, John Ruddick, for your support. You're an absolute legend. Labor's Cameron Murphy pulled out all the stops. He lied, he misquoted me and took me out of context. He basically called you all Nazis by association, said the march was fascism dressed up as patriotism, picked on you all for draping our Australian flags proudly over your shoulders. But why are we surprised? The Labor Party doesn't exactly scream patriotism. Although they've got no problem constantly siding with the extreme far left whilst labelling the everyday concerned Australian a far-right extremist. Remember this when it's time to cast your vote next. Of course, the Labor government is so quick to condemn us. They are the ones bringing in the large number of immigrant, refugees and visa holders into Australia. They are the ones ignoring the concerns of the Australian people. Yes. They are ignoring the homeless families living on the streets, ignoring the Australians losing their well-paying jobs just to be replaced with cheaper immigrant workers. But worst of all, they are ignoring the concerns of safety due to high levels of immigrant crimes taking over our streets. Gang violence, machete crimes, rape, home invasions. The list is endless. The people committing these crimes came here for a better life, but instead they've chosen to treat Australia the same as their former home. What was that quote Jesse said earlier? Oh, that's right. Import the third world, become the third world. These criminals should be instantly deported with the first offence committed. We have the laws in place to be able to do so. If they receive a sentence of 12 months, they are meant to be deported. The problem is our courts would rather give them light sentences, give them bail, allow them back on the streets to recommit. We saw this happen recently in Melbourne with the Northland Shopping Centre machete fight that took place while several of them were out on bail. One was given bail again, then he was part of the group that ended up cutting 2 children's hands off, which resulted in their death. Had he been deported after his first crime, those children would still be alive today. Australia needs to deport immigrant criminals without hesitation after the first time is committed. We need to send them back. 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 I want my children to grow up in a world that they feel safe. I want my daughter to be able to walk around a shopping centre without feeling scared. I want my son to grow up in a world that he doesn't feel shamed or called toxic for showing pride in his country. I want my baby boy to grow up and not feel like a stranger in Australia. I want him to grow up to be patriotic and learn about the sometimes dark but also beautiful history of this country, that his ancestors put their blood, sweat and tears to make it what it is today. I want our government to listen to the Australian people and actually hear the words we speak. I want them to end mass immigration, protect our heritage, our culture and our way of life. Thank you to everyone for coming. I love you all. Never back down. Never stop fighting for this beautiful country that we call home. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Love you all!
Thanks, Beck. That's the national organiser for March for Australia. She's put lots of time and effort and blood, sweat and tears into this. So give her another round of applause, guys. Next speaker we have is the Honourable John Ruddock, MLC, representing the Libertarian Party. Welcome to the stage, John.
Look, it's really terrific to see that we're making the Australian flag great again. It's fantastic. And I would really like to thank Beck Freedom and Jessie for organising it. These things don't come from nowhere. I think she got to sleep at 5 o'clock this morning. They have thrown everything at her, including the kitchen sink this week, but she's shown that she's as tough as nails and she doesn't care. So most people would have backed down by now, but you're standing tall and we're standing with you. Now, I'm here because I believe that the 3 most important issues facing Australia, facing any country, are this, in this order. Immigration, immigration, and immigration. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what immigration's like. Imagine if you're having a party, you're having a house party. Your friends come around, your family comes around, everyone's having a good time. People hear about it, more people come around, everyone's having a good time. Such a good time that people that you do not know and that may not fit into the party that well start crashing it. They wreck the party. What was once a great party is now an unhappy party. Now, the thing about why I say immigration is the most important issue is because, look, if taxes are too high, well, that's not good, but we can reduce them. Regulations are too high, we can reduce them. If we've got involved in a stupid war, we can get out of the war. Now, with immigration, it's very, very hard to reverse a bad immigration policy. Look what's happening in Western Europe and Scandinavia right now, and England. And you know, these trends, Australia's usually 5 to 10 years behind. We have to strive to prevent that happening in this country. Now, you know, the funny thing is, I read in the media somewhere this week that this was actually a Nazi rally. That's what I read. Now, I was sceptical of that, and I've talked to a lot of people today. You seem like the happiest, nicest people I've met in many, many years. So, but I would like to do a test. If you are here and you're not a Nazi, can you please put up your hand? Now, you better put up your left hand, not your right hand. Now, that's pretty much everybody. That's pretty much everybody here is not a Nazi. So they are, what that means is, we were lied to in the media. But we were lied to. They want to badmouth this movement because they can see that it's catching on. Now, the last thing I'll say is, you know, these politicians, the thing that runs their life more than anything else is the polls. That's all they care about is the polls. They'll say anything if the polls say it. Well, the good news is the polls are on our side. The Lowy Institute, big left-wing globalist think tank, they put out a poll a few months ago. They said, ask people what they think about immigration. 53%, according to the Lowy Institute, said, yeah, we've got too much immigration. That's pretty good. The Guardian is probably the most left-wing media outlet in this country. They put a poll out recently. Same result, 53% of Australians say, yeah, too much immigration.
It's higher than that.
And then just recently, like a week after the last rally, the Sydney Morning Herald, you know, another right-wing outlet. The Sydney Morning Herald, but they did publish this poll. They said 49% of Australians say we've got too much immigration. 27%, big gap, 27% said, oh, it's about right. 5% said we don't have enough. Okay, that's the crazies who want to wreck the joint. Now, but very interestingly, 19% told the pollster, oh, I don't know, Mr. Pollster. I just don't know what I think about immigration. Now, they're lying. They're shy. They're cowards, right? Now, in many cases, it's understandable. You work for one of these big corporations, they'll sack you like that. But the thing is, of that 19%, I believe clearly more than half of them would have privately said, yes, I think there's too much immigration. So my point is, we are representing the majority of Australians. And so thank you for being here. Now, I know this is, the March for Australia doesn't have a set policy. Okay, so this is my personal policy. I believe what we should do with immigration is a 5-year pause, where we basically let no one in. But I don't want you to think, well, these ladies say 10. Have I got 15 over here? 15. Okay, no. Let's start with 5. But it's not back to business as normal after the pause. We want a massive reset. We want to have a debate in meetings like this, in social media, in Parliament, in our opinion pages. Have a sober debate about what's best for the next 50 years. And then at the end of that 5 years, and that 5 years of a civilised debate, we have a national vote. Nothing affects the people more than immigration. We put up 4 or 5 different plans, and we see what the people think. And you know what I reckon they'll vote for? I reckon they'll vote for what you guys stand for. Thanks so much for being here. Maintain the rage.
Thank you, John Ruddick. Good speech, mate.
Send them back! Send them back!
Send them back! Send them back! Send them back! Send them back!
Send them back! Send them back! Send them back!
All right. Next speaker, we have social media personality Mad Unit AU. Welcome to the stage, mate.
Hello everyone. Alright, so they keep saying there's a construction skills shortage, so they keep bringing in people who only do jobs that involve sitting down. They'll hand out university degrees like confetti so that they can join thousands of resumes in a pile and then do Uber to survive. We need less Uber drivers, more tradies. I'm a product of immigration. My grandparents left for a reason. They settled in the beautiful Southern Shire. They assimilated, they became patriotic. I became patriotic. Now people come for a better life and then hate us for it? People are welcome here, but the key word is mass. Look at Sydney. Nearly 20 years ago, I was a bouncer at some of Sydney's most legendary venues, and I've personally seen how vibrant it was. But now what was such a fun and vibrant place, as you can see, is just acai and tobacconists at every corner. Am I right?
You're wrong.
We used to be proud. We used to be a proud people. We used to be tough. We traded courage for compliance. We traded freedom for comfort. Every decision they make hurts the people who actually keep this country alive. The politicians don't live under the rules they create. We do. It's the same story that destroyed Britain, a once great empire rotting from within. They abandoned their values, their traditions, their identity, and now we're walking down the same path.
Go, Tommy Robinson.
100%. The real agenda at play, the biggest story, is wages low, prices high. And they're replacing us with obedient slaves who won't notice their corruption. This is a controlled demolition of Western society on purpose. They want to destroy our way of life so they can steal more money and gain more power. But people will argue over a football team, but when it comes to standing up for their country, their freedom, their rights, silence. But you people here are the exception. If we don't snap out of this, everything that we love, the Australia that we once loved, will be gone. And I never thought I'd see the day that standing up for our own country would make us the bad guys. I really didn't know. But I just wanted to say a massive thank you to the police. I want to say a massive thank you to Beck Freedom and the organisers. But don't forget, stand up, speak up.
Cheers, Mad Unit. That was good, mate. All right, next speaker, we have social media personality renowned for defeating the E-Safety Commissioner in court. Welcome Celine Against the Machine to the stage.
Hello, Sydney. Thank you all for being here today, and thank you, Beck, and thank you, Jessie, for letting me speak. My online name is Celine Against the Machine. I'm a mother and a very proud Australian. I wanted to speak today as the topic of mass immigration is something I care deeply about for a number of reasons. I love this country. I love this country, but if I'm honest, I don't really love the people that are in charge. I've lived in Western Sydney my whole life, so I've seen firsthand what forced multiculturalism does to a community. It doesn't foster cohesion, it promotes division. The streets and shopping centres that I grew up in, I don't recognise anymore, and I am starting to feel like a stranger in my own country. Now, in case you couldn't tell, I'm a woman, a real one, an adult human female. I have an 8-month-old daughter, and she means everything to me. While I'm sure I'll agree with what else is said today, because I am a woman, I'm going to talk about this through the specific lens of protecting women's safety. Women and girls always pay a price when it comes to mass immigration. Yes. When we import a large amount of people from countries whose ethics and values do not align with our own, Western women are isolated, degraded, and attacked. Yes. Look at the UK, Europe, the United States, all of the horrific attacks that we've seen on women and girls. They will happen here. Hell, they already have. Now, the progressive, liberal nut jobs, the Abby Chatfields of the world, they couldn't give a shit about our daughters. All these so-called feminists who argue that men can be women will willingly turn a blind eye to the very real dangers that women and girls face because of their intersectional ideologies. Not only will they not talk about it, but they'll call you racist for even thinking about it. While they sit in their $1 million homes with their luxury beliefs, completely separated from what most Australians are seeing every day with their own eyes. Now, even though we have different ideologies, those women still deserve to be safe. When we import people from countries who have a backwards, barbaric view of women, Western women and girls are in danger. Now, when I say backwards and barbaric views of women, you know exactly what I mean. I don't want to speak for everyone here, but in my opinion, if your culture includes covering your women head to toe so your men don't assault them, I don't want it here. If your culture includes sex-selective abortions, killing children just because they're girls, I don't want it here. If your culture views Western women as dirty, as pieces of meat, I don't want it here. If your culture believes in honour killings when family members step out of line, I don't want it here. If your culture believes in sorting out your differences by stabbing each other with machetes, I don't want it here. We have a government that consistently boasts about how many women there are in Parliament, claiming to care about women's rights, women's voices, all this virtue signalling bullshit. They can't even define what a woman is. If you truly cared about protecting Australian women, you'd stop importing people from cultures that don't respect us. Now, if we can't get those dickheads in Canberra to listen to us and to put a stop to the influx of people that we're importing, then women and girls will be sacrificed at the altar of multiculturalism. Our children deserve to feel safe in their country. Our children deserve to be proud of their country. Our children deserve Australia. I'll end with this. Some cultures are better than others. There's a reason people want to move here. There's a reason that Western countries are being flooded with immigrants, and there's a reason that they don't want to go back home. That reason is our culture, our Anglo culture, our quality of life, our way of life, our beautiful country. Our country is worth fighting for, and as long as we continue to have the pride and the passion that I'm seeing here today, then at least they'll know that we won't go down without a fight. Thank you all. God bless.
Make Australia great again!
Thanks, Celine. That was a great speech. Great speech, Celine. For our next speaker, we got Mr. Craig Kelly. Welcome to the stage, Craig.
Good on you, Craig Kelly. You're a legend. There he is.
We are here today for a few reasons. Firstly, because we are proud of our great Australian flag. We are proud of our nation, Australia. And we are proud of our country's history. But I'll tell you what, we are damn shamed about the government that we have in Canberra. Now let's just do the mathematics, the simple mathematics. The first term of the Albanese government, he's imported a net number of 1.4 million new people into this country. 1.4 million. If we go back before the Sydney Olympics, that is 15 years worth of migration crammed into just 3 years. And what are the adverse consequences? We see families living in their cars. We see Australians living under bridges. We see the price of rents through the roof. Where the rent today, the average cost of your rent as a percentage of your wage has never been higher in our nation's history. And the great Australian dream of home ownership, the chance that a young Australian can own part of the land that he was born in, has been extinguished by the Albanese government. So we are saying, as John Ruddick said, we want a massive cut in the number of migrants coming to this country, because you cannot bring 1.4 million people in 3 years. That's right. It's not just the housing, it's also the dams, it's the hospitals, it's the public transport network, it is the entire infrastructure. The Albanese government has this nation going backwards, and we're going to get out there and fight against it and keep speaking against this every single day up until the next election, because we cannot have another 3 years of Anthony Albanese as the Prime Minister of this country. Thank you.
Albo's a wanker! Albo's a wanker!
Elbows a wanker!
Albo's a traitor!
Elbows a traitor!
Albo's a traitor!
Elbows a traitor!
Alright, thanks for that, Craig. Our next speaker is Steve Christou, the former Mayor and Libertarian Councillor for Cumberland. Welcome, Steve.
Hello, Aussie Patriots! Give it up, Sydney! Before we start, I'd like to say a big thank you to Beck and her partner Jess. Give them a round of applause. Nothing happens without their hard work. Now, just like everybody here today, I'm here because I love my country and I love my flag. But unfortunately, our country is being flushed down the toilet by Anthony Albanese, Penny Wong and the Australian Labor Party and the Greens. That's right. Determined to flush our country's morals and our beliefs right down the dunny. But we're not going to let that happen. No.
Make Australia great again!
We are in a cost of living crisis where people are struggling to pay the mortgage, the rent, the bills, and put food on the table to feed their children. And what's our federal government's response? Let's let in 1.5 million Australians in the last 3 years, creating a housing crisis, creating a rental crisis. People cannot get into the housing market. People are sleeping in parks and in tents and in cars. And in a lot of cases, they're holding full-time jobs, all because of excess migration. We have a treacherous government sneaking in ISIS brides under the cover of darkness. Boom! Absolutely treacherous. Rather than letting them rot overseas in the camps and telling them you abandoned Australia and giving them the middle finger, because that's what they gave Australia when they walked out of here.
Yes! Send them back! Send them back!
Send them back! Send them back!
Send them back! Send them back! Send them back! Send them back! Send them back! Send them back! Send them back! Send them back!
Rather than leaving these treacherous ISIS brides, they want to welcome them back with open arms, let them take our generous welfare system, give them priority housing. Boo, that's right. And it's happening, and they're jumping the queue from ordinary Australians that need assistance with housing and might need the welfare assistance, and we're saying no, we're not going to give it to our own people, we're going to give it to treacherous ISIS brides. That's right, maintain the rage, because we all need to be angry. They're letting in immigrants that won't assimilate to our culture, and again, they're committing acts of violence and taking up a welfare system. It is treason.
Make Australia great again!
But I'll tell you this, there needs to be a mass immigration pause in this country.
Yes!
On a minimum of 5 years. On a minimum. Because our schools and our hospitals and our infrastructure cannot cope.
Our people can't cope either!
Okay? That's right, people can't cope.
We can't live, mate.
No, we can't live. So, it warms my heart to see you all out here today, waving the Australian flag, loudly and proudly. So get all the flags up, give it a big cheer. And we will continue this fight against the Albanese Labor government and against the commos that hate our country. Okay, and before we go, let's sing it loud and proud. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Oi, oi, oi!
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Oi, oi, oi!
Aussie!
Oi!
Aussie!
Oi!
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Oi, oi, oi!
Well done, Sydney. Well done, Australia.
Make Australia great again!
Thanks, Steve. All right, next up we got the viral Vegemite guy from TikTok, Alan Ross. Welcome to the stage, bro.
To my fellow Australians, I am Alan Ross, also known as the Vegemite guy, who went viral on social media platforms, including TikTok, for smearing Vegemite on my face to help promote these events and rally our Australian troops. Who out there seen my videos? Yeah, nice work, thank you. I am here today as a tax-paying, law-abiding, proud Australian citizen to march for Australia in defiance of mass immigration plaguing our country. I am speaking up when others stay silent. I am doing what our politicians won't, and I know I am not alone. This crowd speaks volumes. I have been called every name under the sun, including racist, which has been used so much it's now lost its meaning. I am all for reality, and I will not be silenced. My great-grandfather spilled blood and determination in World War I to protect this flag and our way of life, and I will not allow his memory and his ultimate sacrifice to be lost in vain. I will fly my flag high and march for Australia for as long as it takes to make positive change for ourselves and our future generations to follow. Our children depend on us for a safe future. This is our country. This is our home. And enough is enough. We will continue to unite in a sea of blue until our message is heard loud and clear that mass immigration must be halted. Our country is being run like a bad business, wasteful, unaccountable, and blind to everyday Australians. We must continue to unite as strength in numbers will demand leadership that puts Australians first. Accountability over excuses, results over rhetoric. This is a true grassroots movement powered by belief in our country, belief that Australians deserve better. In the famous words of our great John Farnham, we have the chance to turn the pages over. We are not going to sit in silence. We are not going to live in fear. You're the voice. You and you and you and you and you. So let's make a noise and make it clear. This agenda is hurting everyday Australians with services stretched and families under pressure. August 31st was a celebration of who we are as a people and how we can unite under one banner, one unbreakable force, sending a message so loud it couldn't be ignored. After the August 31st protest, there has been a shift in the Australian collective energy. Even our current political landscape is changing after people leaned into their courage to make a stand. Parliamentarians such as Pauline Hanson have warned immigration numbers are out of control for 30 years. An elected official who has always had the guts to say what you're thinking. She has put this debate front and centre in Canberra,
So remember that the next time you're at the polling booth and vote One Nation for our best chance of getting our country back on track. Mass immigration is the movement of a large number of people from one geographical area to another, usually influenced by government policies. Between 1945 and 2024, Australia welcomed 7.5 million migrants on an average of 93,750 per year. It has been projected by the end of the Albanese regime, an additional 2.5 million migrants will have been added to the Australian population. That is a sudden and significant influx from different countries, not reflective of being sustainable to our economic and social infrastructure, such as houses, roads, hospitals and schools. This current attitude is diluting everything we hold sacred. Arthur Caldwell, leader of the Australian Labor Party in 1967, had said, if Australians are ever foolish enough to open their gates to people other than Europeans, they will soon find themselves fighting desperately to stop the nation from being flooded by hordes of non-integratables. Now that was spoken by a representative of the same party in power today. And they have a much more opposing and damaging attitude. This is the same party who used to be spelt Labour as Labour, but have dropped the U because they don't care about you. They just care about themselves and greasing up with socialist ideologies, corruption and mass immigration to help buy votes at the next election. How's that for a fair and just democracy? Crime is out of control by demographics of repeat offenders of foreign descent. From the social and organised syndicates to the apex gangs in Melbourne, retail workers are being held at knife point at their place of work. Families are being terrorised in their own homes. Bail laws provoke reoffending and a disregard for the rules. Do I need to even mention the Northland Shopping Centre incident? I think it's already been mentioned here again today.
They don't abide by our law and they don't believe in our fucking law.
Exactly.
Underneath, you should talk to the family.
ISIS brides are being smuggled in under the cover of darkness, and politicians are not giving clear answers in Parliament when they're questioned. This goes to show the government does not care, nor does it fully understand how to keep Australians safe. If you import the third world, you'll get third world problems and conflicts in return. Our Australian identity is changing and will be lost forever if this continues. Not assimilating with our country's morals and values, our language and our history is not multiculturalism. It is replacement of one culture with another. Have a look at what's occurring in Britain. It's too late for them now. It's too saturated with foreign immigrants who have pushed their own agendas and ideology. There is no cure for this. We cannot stand by and say sorry for mistakes made after the fact. It will be too late for Australia as well if we continue to allow this mass immigration to occur. Prevention is better than cure.
A recent poll by marketing research firm Dynata found that 71% of Australians agreed that immigration levels are too high. And this government should temporarily pause its intake of new immigrants. Mass immigration is making Australia poorer and more divided. By gathering here today and across this great nation, we are sending a strong message to our political leaders that drastic and urgent action is needed to restore confidence in our migration program. Too many young Australians are being deprived of an opportunity to own their own home. Exactly, thank you. That's in part because this immigration pressures are having on the housing market. Australia needs a migration system managed maturely and in the interests of the country, not determined by internal political power struggles. Our government's drunk on power and has morphed into a tyrannical beast.
Very true. Very true.
Trampling our freedoms, our voices, and our way of life. They need to be given a Vegemite sandwich and do the job they are paid for.
Make Australia great again.
The Governor-General should sack him. The Governor-General should sack him.
100% agreed. Now, if the floodgates at Warragamba Dam were open completely, and stay with me here, I have a point, it would cause significant downstream flooding if the river couldn't handle the volume, and we've seen it happen. Well, a full-scale release of mass immigration is what is happening in our country right now. Floodgates are in place for a reason, a measure to protect the dam structure and downstream communities from overflow. We need those floodgates installed where mass immigration is sustainable and does not inundate our communities, where our hard-working, fair-dinkum Aussies are not drowned out of the housing market. Australia has an illegal immigration problem from people overstaying visas. According to the Department of Immigration and Border Protection, the current total number of illegal migrants living in Australia is approximately 62,700 as of today, a figure that is increasing at a rate of 5% annually. However, only 2,000 illegal immigrants are deported every year. Australia has one of the highest amounts of foreign-born residents in the world. The total numbers, both in total numbers and both per capita. Recent immigration now accounts for over 30% of the population, the highest proportion among Western nations. Going forward, I propose a 5-year mass immigration pause to help social and economic recovery. An increase in Australian working visas to 5 years, and then you can earn the opportunity to apply for citizenship. Then we need to begin the process of sending the Gaza refugees who are currently on a temporary visa back to where they came from. And finally, ban the burqa. It is un-Australian to be parading around dressed like you're going to a Halloween party, pretending that you are a walking mailbox. We need to cap the intake of international students and family migration from countries such as China, the Philippines, India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka.
Send them back!
Send them back!
Sir Edmund Barton once said in 1907 that we have room for all but one flag, the Australian flag. Look around you, that's what you see here today.
We have room but for all one language here, and that is the English language. And we have all but one sole loyalty, and that is the loyalty to the Australian people. In 1932, a bird on our national coat of arms went head to head with the military in protecting their habitat. The Great Emu War was won by an animal due to their surprising speed, resilience and ability to scatter. Almost 100 years later, our March for Australia rallies across this country, designed to protect the habitat of every individual, will be one with just as much speed, resilience and ability to mobilise across this great nation. By coming here today, you are helping defend our honour and protect our heritage, our culture and our way of life for this great southern land. The power of the people has shown us throughout history, from the Eureka Stockade to the waterfront workers' strikes, that our strength lies in our solidarity. There is no shame in standing up for Australia and breaking the cycle of division.
Send them back! Send them back!
Send them back!
Send them back! Send them back! Send them back!
We share the same blood and same spirit. This isn't about left and right, it's about right and wrong. We've been censored, vilified and knocked down, but we've got up again to march in every city of every state in Australia, and we will take this country back one street at a time. Come on, Aussies, come on. Don't let the foundations that hold this country together, fairness, mateship and conservative values, be pushed aside. I urge you to go out into the community today and recruit your family and friends for our next gathering. Share a beer with a stranger, wear your flag capes to eat yum cha, and support the Australian small businesses who help drive this country forward. The time for action is now. And may the government tremble at the roar of our March for Australia rallies across this nation. Anthony Albanese, can't you hear the thunder? You better run, you better hide for cover. So in conclusion, we all come from a land down under, where patriotism is not racism, where prevention of mass immigration is better than cure, where the One Nation Party has this country's interests in its sights. So remember to vote accordingly.
Albanese is a worker! Albanese is a worker! Go Buckley for Australia! Go Buckley!
And where we must continue to be loud and proud of Australian culture on every street to help keep this movement flying high, just like those amazing flags today. Sons and daughters of Australia, I am Alan Ross. And I see a whole army of countrymen here in defiance of mass immigration. Countrymen who would be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for just one chance to come back here for another March for Australia and tell our government they may take our votes, but they will never take our freedom. Thank you.
Send them back! Send them back! Send them back! Albanese is a worker! Albanese
Thanks, Alan. That was good, mate. All right, last speaker we got before I make an announcement, and then we'll go to an open mic at the end. We got seventh generation Australian and social media personality. Welcome Viscount Dundee to the stage.
I love your glasses! You look sexy, bomb!
Thank you.
Send them back!
You know, I didn't want to be here today. I have a wife and children that love me back home in the beautiful Hunter Valley. Yes.
Yeah!
But the fact is, Canberra has not given me a choice. I haven't given any of us a choice. And the message I bring is not a message for everyone. As a matter of fact, it might be a little bit somber after those beautiful speeches before me. But I come bearing bad news, and I come bearing good news. The bad news is the Australian state is functionally a failed institution. It is currently suffering a legitimacy crisis. It is forever dependent on more and more of this substance that they cannot grab, this political dark matter, to explain why this promised land has not worked out the way they claimed it would. They have to lean to everything. It's the racists, it's the anti-vaxxers, it's the sovereign citizens, it's you. And the plain fact is, not even Antifa cared enough to turn up today. Either that or props to the cops, you guys are doing a great job. But we live in a country where no one under 40 can afford a home. And they've turned the lucky country into nothing more than a legal looting operation. This is a country where the old consumes the young, the ugly crushes the beautiful, the weak protects the lifeblood of the strong. We come today to this place. This is an enemy castle, and sure, it might be, but we're here today to remind them that we bloody well have them surrounded. They've worked hard to destroy the great Australian dream. They've built an empire of stolen goods that drained from our very lifeblood. They've snatched from our children's mouths for their own enrichment and for paying off their foreign interlopers. The systemic purpose of this regime is to disembowel you. They sent our forefathers to die in Gallipoli, our grandfathers to die in Vietnam. They sent our fathers, brothers, uncles to be blown apart by IEDs in the sands of the Middle East, while the cowards who stayed behind and ran the halls of power washed away our country in a sea of indescript brown. We worked like dogs to live like rats in the land that our forefathers struggled and died for. But the good news is this: we're approaching South Africanisation at a rate that's absolutely inconceivable. We have half the country, the beautiful people here before me today, that believe that pedophilia should be a capital crime. And another part of the country that could not import fast enough a sea of people who don't think it a crime at all. Amen. You cannot share a politic with these people. And look, it may well be the case that Canberra does not care that we're here today. I wish I could say that through the microphone. But in the end, we win when we no longer care about them. We didn't vote for this, and there's no voting our way out of this. We cannot stick to the failed strategies that have led us to this point. We aren't marching for Canberra, we're marching for us. We're marching for each and every true-blooded Australian out there. All these beautiful faces looking at me right now. We are still in this fight, and we will not go quietly. I want each and every one of you to understand that we currently face an existential crisis. We currently stand upon the precipice of whether to be as a people, as a country, or not to be. Because migration is a weapon. It is a weapon released upon us, upon our culture, our way of life, and upon our children. Absolutely. You know, our forefathers ran to the edge of the earth, to the edge of the known world. We're standing here with nowhere left to run. And there is a time to run. And there is a time to dig in. And you better bloody believe it, it's the time to dig in right now. And so my message today, my positive one, is to start with the things that we can control. We start with the small things. We start with the wins that are on the table. I want you to take each and every one of you who's made a friend today. Don't just go home back to the way things were. Stay in touch. Stick together. I want you to make communities with each other. You understand that we win when we live in a country that we can talk to our neighbours in. We win when we live in a country in which we can talk about the problems, about the foreigners, about the corruption. We win when we live together, when we raise our kids together, when we tell them our stories, when we sing them our songs. You need to organise on a smaller scale, and that's going to be hard because they spent the last 100 years tearing down this country, tearing down our people, tearing down our culture. It's going to be small bricks. It's going to be socks and shoes. So get together, get in with your councils, block the developers, employ each other, support each other, be anti-fragile. If they come through with their digital ID, it should not matter because you live with the people you love.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, we need to make camping weekends about skills. We need to make beers in the shed after work turned into songs. We need to ooze patriotism and pride every chance we get. We must be psychologically prepared to fight a very long war. But it is a war we will win. You understand that if history has taught us anything, it's that if we do not believe in our right to rule, if we do not believe in ourselves, then others will come who are utterly unworthy to do so. The crown is in the gutter, and we have only to pick it up. We will win because something always beats nothing. We will win because we are something. We will win because we are Australians. And I'll tell you now, any land that you aren't prepared to protect is terra nullius. And this land is bloody well ours! I want to end with a poem, and you're all going to love it. During the time of the prospecting days and the original Eureka Stockade, the miners, the Australians, were under the thumb of a tyrannical government. They were being swamped in their digs by foreigners, and they struggled to make a living. And these are the words of Henry Lawson. Australia is a big country, and freedom's humping bluey, and freedom's on the wallaby. Oh, don't you hear a cooey? She's just begun to boomerang. She'll knock the tyrant silly. She's going to light another fire and boil another billy. Our fathers toiled for bitter bread while loafers thrived beside them. But food to eat and clothes to wear, their native land denied them. And so they left that native land in spite of their devotion. And so they come, or if they stole, were sent across the ocean. Then freedom couldn't stand the glare of royalty's regalia. She left the loafers where they were and come out to Australia. But now across the mighty main the chains have come to bind her. She little thought to see again the wrongs she left behind her. Our parents toiled to make a home, hard grubbin' 'twasn't clearin'. They wasn't crowded much with lords when we was pioneerin'. But now that we have made the land a garden full of promise, old greed must crook its dirty hand and come and take her from us. So we must fly a rebel flag as others did before us, and we must sing a rebel song and join in rebel chorus. Oh, those will make the tyrants feel the sting of those that they would throttle. They needn't say the fault is ours if blood should stain the wattle. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Oi, oi, oi!
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Oi, oi, oi!
Aussie!
Oi!
Aussie!
Oi!
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Oi, oi, oi!
God bless you all.
All right, thanks, Viscount. I'm just going to make a quick announcement about March for Australia's next event, and then we'll go to the open mic. So I think we've got 5 here. We're going to keep it to 2 to 3 minutes, and we'll get through them quick, and then we've got to pack this thing up. All right, so what's next for March for Australia? The next official March for Australia event will be held on Australia Day, January 26th, 2026. We are aware that there are other rallies planned for the 29th of November 25. These rallies are not associated with March for Australia and do not share our core values at all. In fact, these rallies were made out of spite against the March for Australia after their main organisers trashed our movement, calling everyone racists and Nazis. They then used footage from the first March for Australia event as promotional material for their own event in an attempt to ride the wave of momentum of our movement. I'm not telling anyone whether to attend these rallies or not, but I'm making it clear where March for Australia stands. I know many people are wanting more regular March for Australia events. However, November, December time of year is usually dedicated to the Christmas season with friends, family, shopping for presents, and quite often ends up being the busiest time of the year. March for Australia has decided that the festive season is not an optimal time for marching. For our next event on Australia Day, we are planning on generating an enormous display of patriotism to celebrate our beloved national holiday. It will be a huge statement towards the un-Australian traitors who have been trying to steal our day from us for so long. We have an opportunity to make this one of the most significant Australia Day celebrations in many years, and we want January to be the most patriotic month of the year. Many call it Australia Month. For the meantime, we're running some campaigns for supporters to get involved, so feel free to keep following the social media pages to be involved. We have the Raise the Flag, which is hoisting the Australian flag on a piece of public property, light posts, electricity posts, etc. And then we have Australia's Voice, which you can send in clips, written posts, or written posts to March for Australia pages, and we'll publish them on the page. We believe all Australians deserve to have a voice, so tell us how mass immigration has failed you. What side effects are you feeling? Cost of living, housing crisis, crime increase. Explain why you were marching for Australia. All right, guys, that's it. We'll do the open mic. We'll get 5 people. Rules are we've got to stay on topic within the messaging. 2-minute speeches. Let's go, guys. Get through them.
Hi everyone, I'm Donna from the Corruption Whistleblower newspaper. So we are definitely here and love our nation. We have noticed that the Australian government is doing this immigration as quite the ploy. Of course people are going to want to come in and get thousands of dollars for free. Not good enough, government. They're clearly not representing the people. So really, they've been indicted by the people. We have done grand jury indictments at www.corruptionwhistleblower.com, and you can join in those grand jury indictments because the entire government's involved in this corruption, not just Albo. The whole lot of them needs to go. The whole lot of them needs to be held to account for their treasonous, terrorist crimes against the people. 60,000 children a year are taken with no court order. That's 240 a day. 240 a day children are snatched by so-called child protection. And where do they go? So you want to immigrate to this country? Well, good luck keeping your child, because we're the #1 for taking people's children for nothing. And bloody child trafficking them everywhere. 60,000. 240 a day. And you know how much they get for uplifting them? $40,000. Just like they're paying the immigrants to come in. Don't look at the immigrants, it's the government! It's the Australian government causing this. They are so evil. They have absolutely decimated this country on every level. So we've written about it in a brief of evidence. 80-page newspaper. You like it? Yeah, corruption whistleblower. Woo. And they all have one. They know their crimes. That's why they're doing the replacement migration. Yeah, they know their crimes, and they know when we know about this, that they have absolutely not asked the people what to do, not asked the people what we want. They are treasonous terrorist government, and they are a foreign government, actually, of political subdivision. Go and research that. Go and research some of this stuff that's going on. It's clear, all outlined. We've got 3 editions in the corruption whistleblower newspaper. They are not above the law, and we are coming for you for public trials. And same with you, cops. We love yous, but we totally need you to be on the people's side and stop enforcing the criminal government that is paying your wage. And you too, ABC, we're watching you as well. We're watching all the mainstream media and how crooked are you covering up your co-conspirating crimes. One would think you're in joint enterprise with the evil government, wouldn't one? Mainstream media. So watch yourselves, because we're coming for you. Everyone here knows, and we're coming for you, Australian government, to bring justice and righteousness back here. By the power of right, what is right? We know what is right. We know what is right, and I thank you all for coming out today. Please keep up the good work. Thanks. CorruptionWhistleblower.com. Come and see us. Get online, CorruptionWhistleblower.com, and please register for grand jury indictments on there. We need to indict this government and get rid of them.
Thank you, Corruption Whistleblower. All right. Next open mic speakers, try and stay on topic, please, guys.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are we? My name is Elijah. I'm a Ramsey Scholar of Western Civilization and, God willing, a future Presbyterian minister in this nation. I've risen to speak because I don't believe anyone has yet identified the core issue at hand. Mass migration, yes, is causing many problems in Australia, as the other speakers have made plain. Mass immigration, however, is just the government's band-aid to fix a greater problem. Fixing immigration policy alone will not solve Australia's problems. We need a much greater change to fix our nation's ills. We need a return to our nation's roots. We need a revival and a reformation here. Yeah. The writers of our Constitution recognize that to be a great nation, we must humbly rely on Almighty God. As Scripture says, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. Yet we have turned from the faith of our fathers and sought to exalt ourselves as gods. Rejecting his righteous rule, we have become foolish and created our own laws that have become our destruction. And aren't we here to preserve this nation for our children? But where are our children? We have mass immigration in this country because it's the government's band-aid to solve our problem of not having children. We don't have a fertility rate at the level of replacement. And the children that we do conceive, what happens to them? We kill them at a rate of 240 a day. 88,000 a year are aborted in Australia. Their blood flows out and defiles our land. We are importing other nations' children because we are murdering our own. And Mr. Ruddock, I appreciate your work and your intentions, but we don't need another anti-discrimination bill. We need an equal protection bill. We need to extend the same protections under law that you and I have to our pre-born neighbours. Stop compromising with child sacrifice. End it! Brothers and sisters, Christ calls us to love our neighbour, and that includes our pre-born neighbours. If we do not love life, our nation will die. To end mass immigration, we must abolish abortion in Australia. We must abandon this culture of death and turn back to the Lord of life. And I've got good news for you, Australia, because Christ offers forgiveness for every sinner who turns from their sin and trusts in him.
That's what the West is standing.
We are a nation that needs to be reconciled to God. If we want to make Australia great again, we must turn back to the God because of righteousness exalts a nation. Come, God says, let us reason together. Though your sins may be red as scarlet, Christ by his own blood will wash them white as snow. I look out and see a sea of flags bearing our nation's symbol. The 4 crosses of our Australian Christian heritage. The 3 of the Union Jack, of St. George, St. Patrick and St. Andrew. These men followed the example of their Lord, and following their example, Britannia became a great nation. And when Galleon Cook sailed from Albion to Australia, true British courage bore him on till he landed on our shore, and we, looking up, saw another cross, reminding us that we must live under Christ's rule. Our great forefathers followed their Saviour, and the Lord Jesus Christ died on his cross to redeem a people for himself, and by his resurrection from the dead, all those who trust in him also may be raised. We may have hope as a nation because of this. For at Christ's right hand are blessings for individuals and for nations who follow him. He is the way, the truth, and the life, the only way for our nation. So Australia, heed the word of the Lord. Establish justice for the fatherless and the widow. Love mercy, and once again, humbly rely on Almighty God.
Thanks for that, mate. Next one. I don't know your name, sorry. Andrew.
Hello everyone, my name's Andrew. Like you, I'm motivated to stop mass immigration. I've got 2 young children about to go out in the world, and we're all here for different reasons today. But what we all need to do actually is, we've talked about building community a lot, is actually to organise. And a lot of people, I didn't know last March how to organise. So I built a website called heritageaustralians.org. I'd like you to pull your phones out right now if you're interested in organising, and you'll find all the tools that you need there to build your own local community. When we build local communities and we take action in our local communities, we can build state organisations. When we build state organisations, we can build a national representative body. It doesn't matter the issues about politics, what matters are the issues about community. Only at that national level then can we affect the small political parties. It's no good asking them to do things, we have to use our weight to tell them what we want to be done, okay? heritageaustralians.org, heritageaustralians.org. All the tools that you need to organise yourselves are there, and I urge you to take a look and use them. Thanks very much.
Thanks, mate. All right, last open mic speaker. Welcome, buddy.
Guess who's back?
Hello, conference! Who's having a good day today, huh? Yeah. Sorry I couldn't be here earlier. I was thinking of ways to get rid of Albanese and look after my own people, right? I am so tired of this. I always go to Liverpool, I see a lot of homeless. I try to do what I can for them, but I know I can't do anything because we can't. We have no power, right? And every time I go on social media, everyone keeps saying we should be replaced by other people because we're too lazy. I say, have you met me? Have you met us? Do you know I pay a lot of taxes? I work my ass off. I work 5 to 9. Do you know me? You can't judge me. How about Albanese? What do you think he does for work? Oh, let's see. Oh, he makes friends with China. Okay. He goes to India to build houses for Indians, but not for us. When will this stop? Yeah. We have homeless veterans on the street.
That's right. That's right.
Albanese wanted, but decided he had more better things to do to recognize Palestine as a state. You love it there? Go over there. Go over there. Put me in charge. You know what I say, Albanese? You're not making anything easy for anyone. Because you know what I say? To defeat an enemy, you must know one. You must know the art, the philosophy, the history. And I know Albanese does not stand up for any of you. He stands up for the corrupt people. Do you know why he brings all these immigrants in? For the votes. The government in India was mocking Albanese, saying, oh, you have a housing shortage? Well, bring a lot of people in. Even we're being laughed at by Indians. Albanese, meet me here in Sydney Square. So we can the debate. I'm going to say this, Albanese. Your time is running out. You can't push it underground.
All right, that that wraps it up. Thank you everyone for coming. Aussie pride. We'll give it one more. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
Aussie.
Oi.
Aussie.
Oi.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Oi, oi.
Thank you everyone. See you on Australia Day.